Hello, welcome to the When I Have Spare Time podcast. My name is Frank, and I'll be sitting here talking to you for a few minutes. As usual, wearing clothes, wearing a Star Wars T-shirt, not a Disney Star Wars T-shirt, but a original uh, George Lucas Star Wars T-shirt. You know, back when Star Wars was good. Um, I uh, I recently found out some amazing stats. Uh, so you guys know that the divorce rate in America, it's pretty high, isn't it? Like a little bit over 50% of people get divorced, and of that 50%, 80% of the divorces are initiated by the women. But anyway, I found out. I forgot how I found this out, but once again, anytime I tell you something, you can do your own research. But guess what are the top three professions that end up getting divorced? Bartenders, dancers, and masseuses. So, um, basically, that means escorts, strippers, hookers. Listen, um, the average woman that's a dancer, that's a stripper. The average woman that's a masseuse is a prostitute, and the average woman that's a bartender, well, is constantly getting male attention. That's a little bit of everything. It's I wasn't surprised when I found this out. I just thought it was funny because it's like no brainer. Like why would you marry um a masseuse? I mean, come on, like you remember how you met her, right? And I've never had a full release that good. I'm gonna marry this one. I mean, that's that's what it comes to. I mean, well, I didn't mean to say that. I mean, that's what it that's what it feels like. It's like if you're married to a masseuse, you most likely met her at a Asian massage parlor. You you paid her an extra $20. You're like, this one's a keeper. Well, she's probably doing that to every other guy too. So of course you didn't get divorced. I don't know why you would marry a dancer. I was actually God, I was over like a friend of a friend's house. Uh, it was his house, but he was a middle aged man. I think in his 50s. Um, he had a kid, but it wasn't his kid because he was Mexican. The kid was white. She's like 9 years old. I don't know how he has this kid. I didn't ask. All I know is he's full blown Mexican. The kid is full blown white. But she called him dad. She didn't get the race thing yet, so like no one's saying anything to her. But it was his daughter, but not really. So I don't know. I don't know if he found her. Once again, I did not ask. It seemed like a legit father daughter relationship. Nothing fishy was going on. It's just that it just it'd be like it'd be like two German shepherds, like having a litter, and for some reason, French poodles come out. That's what this felt like. It was like the man was a Rottweiler, and his daughter was a Shiba Inu. You know what I'm saying? It just didn't. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. So anyway, this guy, because he's like a middle-aged man. Every middle-aged man likes women, who are in their prime. Um, well, I mean, I think every guy does, but like, he had this girl. I think she was 19. Um, like renting a room in his house because she was in between places. Oh no no no! No. I take that back. That was a different girl. Yeah, he had a woman in his house renting a room because she was in between places and she had 3 kids. But he also had a babysitter for his 9-year-old daughter, and the babysitter was like this 19-year-old stripper, and the 19-year-old stripper was like a single mom. But but here's the thing. Um, the babysitter was there when he was home, so it's like so he'd be home, but just didn't want to watch his daughter, so he hired a babysitter to be there, which I just thought was no, you just want to look at the 19-year-old. But anyway, I don't know how I went on that tangent, but it was um, but yeah, like she was a stripper, single mom, but found a guy who like let her move in his apartment with the baby, and he became a as they say a beta male provider. Like she would still strip, but just not as much because well she had a man now. Like it just and then like I met the guy. The, there was just something off about him. Like there was just something off about a man who was okay with being with a woman who was a stripper, a single mom stripper. Like there was just something really off about this guy. And he was young too. He was like a few years older than her. So he was like whatever, like 23, 24. You know, but he had his own place. So even though he was weird, she found a guy to at least provide shelter. But what I'm trying to say is I can't picture them being together still because that was like I don't know. That might have been 4 years ago. I'm guesstimating here. That might have been 4 or 5 years ago. There's no way in hell that they're still together. It can't be because it like there was just nothing normal. Like it just didn't seem normal to be in a relationship with a woman who did that still. But and it, I don't know, whatever. To each his own. Like um, maybe that was the guy's kink. I like it that my woman goes to work and has you know, random sex with dudes. Then comes back home to me and the kid. Anyway, uh, oh boy, good times, good times. Guys, this is the most random thing. Because, I think on this show, I think we did a segue once. And I was very proud of that show. But anyway, we're not doing segues here. Anyway, did you know in Los Angeles that police officers they're not allowed to write citations or come out to investigate a call for public urination, public defecation, indecent exposure, littering, and making terrorist threats with no weapon. Now, I know that's random. You're like, well, why would they not, um, you know, whatever, enforce, public urination, basically using the restroom outside, indecent exposure, because I'm assuming that's part of using the restroom outside, but, indecent exposure, littering, and making terrorist threats with no weapon. It's because the homeless problem is so bad in LA that you see people using the restroom on the street though, all the time. You see naked people, littering, duh. And homeless people are crazy, so you're gonna get threatened. But I'm thinking for us people who aren't homeless and like to, you know, piss anywhere, expose yourself, throw gum wrappers on the sidewalk. Uh, this is great. This is great news. Um, yeah. I was just looking up stuff about homeless people. Like th- I've said on many occasions that when there's uh, a bill and whatever, like the bill will be about whatever, like raising taxes so we could build a bridge, right? And then they'll go like part of the money raised for these taxes to build a bridge are gonna go to fight homelessness. It's gonna end homelessness. Now here's the thing, like I've said this before, for the past 30 years that I've been paying attention, there's always some kind of bill, some kind of law that's trying to be passed on the on the books that are supposed to end homelessness. And you know, all this money has been raised, all these taxes have been um, invoked, but yet there's still homelessness. So obviously it's a scam. So anytime there's any kind of thing on the ballot with like homeless people, I'm just like, okay, it's a scam. Because currently there's a couple of bills this election cycle. But anyway, this right here, when I'm talking about, the cops don't enforce these offenses anymore, is because the homeless problem isn't going to be fixed. It's never going to be fixed, and it's getting worse. So I think that should be telling to people who are going to vote a certain way this election based on the bill stopping homelessness. Well, obviously, it's not going to work if you have the LAPD, you know, doing things like this now. But whatever. People are going to still fall for it, though. But I really want to take advantage of the indecent exposure. I mean, if the cops aren't gonna come when someone calls for an indecent exposure act, I mean, there's a few beauty salons I want to walk by. You know, like there's a few women's dressing rooms I want to walk by. I really I don't care. I want to see what happens. Yep, I have dreams. But anyway, I'll keep an eye on this and see if the LAPD ever changes their policy, which I doubt. But anyway, and as you can see, if I'm the kind of guy who is looking forward to using the indecent exposure, hands off approach the LAPD has, you won't be surprised I'm the kind of person that when I cut my nails, I feel like I accomplished something. Yeah, that's not saying much about me. I know. I know. How did I end up this way? I don't know. But it's sad, isn't it? I know. It's very sad. So I'm sure some of you know that there's a hurricane or was a hurricane that hit Florida. I believe it's a tropical storm now, but you know, um, the same thing happens every hurricane. So obviously there's excuse me, there's a loss of electricity, power, property damage. There's sharks in the middle of the street, which I saw some video of the sharks in the middle of the street. That was weird. Um, cause cause it's because the streets are flooded, so there's sharks. Anyway, um, but there's also, and I know I've said this every time I've had to talk about this topic. The loss of life. Now, once again, the loss of life, any loss of life, is tragic. Okay, not making light of anyone. I've done I've done over 500 podcasts. You've heard me talk. I've never made fun of someone um, passing away. But I do have a question about this one man who died during the hurricane. Um, when there's a hurricane, and the streets are flooded, okay? There's like, 6 inches of water inside your house. Okay. What is the last thing you should worry about? What is the last thing you should do? Think about it for a moment. Well, I'm not gonna let you think. I'm just gonna tell you. When there's a hurricane and there's like flooding and stuff, the last thing you should do is try to drain your pool. Why would you drain your pool when there's a hurricane slash tropical storm slash flood already going on? Like, it makes no sense. Anyway, yeah, like, so during the hurricane, there's this 72-year-old man. Um, I, I don't think his age is important, but, he's 72. So, and he's from Deltona, which doesn't mean anything to me because I know nothing about Florida except they have some hot chicks there. You know what I'm saying? Anyway. But anyway, so he went outside to drain his pool, and then, like, he got caught in, the water. I mean, not the pool's water, just because there's just so much water, because, it's like a flood, which makes no sense. Why would you drain your pool when it's already flooded? Anyway, so he got swept up in some current, and they found him behind the house, like in a drain. I know that sounds weird. Like, not like you're taking a bath and like you drop something down the drain. It's not like he was like sticking out a giant drain, but there was like a small drain where all the water was flowing out. He got caught in that little wave. So, like, he drowned like in a couple of feet of water. What I'm trying to say. Which which they say that you could drown in like a foot of water or whatever, or 6 inches of water or something like that. So this is like the closest thing to it. But anyway, so he slipped because the water was going down a drain. So he slipped and kind of like got pushed down towards the drain, and I guess he drowned from the water. Well, no, he drowned from the air. Anyway, the whole point of this is, how do you drain a pool when your backyard's flooded? That's that's my point. So where was the logic? There was no logic, you know. His wife, the 30 plus years of her nagging him to do something or not to do something. This is the first time she's like, "Yeah, go ahead, drain the pool during the hurricane. Go ahead." I thought that's what wives were for, to nag you so you don't do something stupid. This sounds like a setup to me. Why did the wife? They've been married for whatever, 30 years. Actually longer. They've been married for 50 years. You're telling me the first time in 50 plus years of marriage, this is the first time she doesn't nag him not to do something stupid? Sounds like a setup. Just saying. You know? But anyway, the hurricane has been downgraded to a tropical storm though. But there's lots of flooding, okay? So if you have sharks swimming down Main Street, forget about the pool, bro. I just don't understand. You know, it's probably because, well, he's a guy, and like sometimes guys just have to feel like they're doing something. So I think this is one of those guy moments. I guess I'll go drain the pool, and while I'm at it, I guess I'll drain the city because the pool is under the water that's flooding the city. So, well, that's gonna be hard to do. Okay, I'll guess I'll give it a shot. When it sprinkles outside, when it's sprinkling, I board my windows up. I'm not even kidding. If the breeze is over 7 miles an hour, I wear boots with sandbags on them so I can be weighed down. I'm not kidding. When the sun goes down, I hibernate. I mean, I can't tell you how safe I am. Won't wear a condom with an escort, though. I ain't no pussy. Listen. Yeah, like, I don't know. The stories like that make me not believe the news even more. I mean, like, I don't, once again, fake news. I don't believe anything I see from mainstream media. But a story like this is, I'm like, wait a moment. If your backyard's flooded, is it even possible to drain your pool? Can someone explain to me how do you drain a pool that's that's I don't know. If there's hurricane, tropical storm, wet weather, and your place is flooded, I just don't get it. I don't know, whatever, like I don't own a pool. Maybe there's something magical when you drain the pool. It helps the water level in the city go down. I don't know, but it didn't have to happen. The guy could have just stayed inside. You know what? The wife was probably nagging him so much about something else. He's like, yeah, you know what? I'd rather go do something pointless than like drain the pool. That's what happened. That's what happened. He was probably like sitting down, watching TV, minding his own business. The power probably went out. His wife came and sat next to him on the couch. He's like, I'm not talking to this bitch. You know what? I'm gonna go drain the pool, even though the backyard's flooded. Even though there's sharks swimming down Main Street, I'm gonna go drain the pool. I don't want to sit next to her and talk to her. Seriously, that's probably. Listen, I am the closest thing to a detective a lot of you are ever gonna interact with. Okay, I did play one on a soap opera for 4 episodes, so I'm good at deducing these things. I'm good at piecing everything together. I'm good at finalizing that scenario to find out what really happened. It's almost like I'm psychic, but I'm not. I'm just really smart. I can't believe that guy was so annoyed by his wife, he decided to go drain the city of Tampa. Because I don't. You got sharks in the middle of the street and you're going to drain your pool? How? I mean, there's just so many things I don't understand about this situation. And the wife was like, he went outside, then he disappeared. Yeah, because he's trying to get away from you. And he did. He actually got away from you finally. He overachieved. This man had a good life, and it took 5 minutes sitting next to his wife to ruin it. I keep I guess I'm sick because the past like week or so, like when I would go out and practice, because I'm a musician, so like when I would go out and practice and sing and stuff, my voice would start to go pretty quickly actually. But anyway, maybe I should probably stop talking. I've said enough. Listen, I'll talk to you guys later. Enjoy your day. Stay safe. And remember, wear a condom. Peace.